Hello everyone, my name is Noor Alalawi. I am a PhD student at the Department of Architecture and Interior Design at the University of Bahrain, and I'm really excited to share my paper with you all today. My work focuses on analyzing the social impacts of urbanization on traditional and contemporary trading environments, the case of Bahrain. To begin with, let's look at the impact of trade within the local economy of Bahrain. So the trade sector, which includes wholesale, retail sale, any kind of sale of any types of goods in Bahrain, is seen as the fourth largest contributor to the country's GDP. And this actually increased from 11.8% in 2019 to 13.1% in 2023. And this shows a huge successful impact of trade within the local economy. Now, throughout history, with the increase in global brands, the increase in shopping malls, e-commerce destinations, it's become very easy, efficient, convenient to go to these alternative shopping destinations. This brings us to our main research problem, which is the clear disconnect between individuals that are engaged in trading activities, which poses a significant threat to the preservation of Bahrain's social trading culture. And so this research aims to explore the dynamics of different trading environments in Bahrain in order to revive commercial activities. There are three objectives to the research. The first one is outlining the social impacts of urbanization on trade. The second is assessing perceptions of commercial activities through a questionnaire. And the third is identifying architectural elements that influence the physical act of trade through photographic analysis. And all of these would present us with recommendations to revive trade and commercial activities in the country. So let's look at urbanization. There's no fixed definition for the term. However, it's known as a global phenomenon. It's known as the migration of populations from rural to urban areas, which results in the alteration of the physical environment within urban settings. There are many impacts to this phenomenon, which include economic impacts, social impacts, and environmental impacts. However, the social impacts hold particular importance, especially within the realm of trade, and this is due to the decrease in social interactions. Now, having examined the impacts of urbanization on trade, we can look at it in the context of Bahrain. So Bahrain has long been renowned as the preeminent epicenter of maritime trade within the Arabian Gulf because of its strategic location, which is between the Mesopotamia-Indus trade route. And so Bahrain became a vital position for vessels which transport valuable commodities between the two coastlines. And trade thrived in Bahrain, and it became a center of interaction between individuals, business transactions, and so on. So consequently, social engagement held paramount importance among the inhabitants of Bahrain. The population engaged in trading activities both domestically and internationally. The streets of Manama were full of people, full of commercial activities, and they were full of life. Manama became the pearl trading hub in the region. And actually, some families still persist in trade until this day. The age-old trading practices, they instilled valuable ethical values among people. It fostered a strong sense of trust within the community. So shop owners used to rely on verbal agreements instead of formal payment systems, which emphasizes the power of the word-of-mouth transactions. And also they had many traditions which involved like placing a chair, for example, outside of their shops, which would then be brought back inside once the first sale of the day was made. And this practice aimed to inform potential customers that they had already made a purchase and to encourage them to visit neighboring shops, promoting mutual benefits amongst traders. And then throughout history and with urbanization, the population density has actually increased by 80% within the last 20 years. And currently, Bahrain ranks as the sixth most densely populated country globally. And with that comes a lot of different impacts, such as, for example, an increase in competition, an increase in more systematic transactions, increase in traffic, alternative options of shopping, more health concerns, and even overcrowding, which all becomes a threat to social interactions within trade. So to summarize all of that, the fishbone diagram, which is also known as the Ishikawa diagram, was used as a tool to outline the factors that impact trade in Bahrain or the possible causes of disconnect in trade. And these factors are urbanization, environment, migration, the Great Recession, economy, petroleum, cultural change, and finally, recently, COVID-19 pandemic. Now, moving on to the data collection of the actual research. So the first part was the questionnaire, which aimed to assess the perception of commercial activities in Old Manama Souk. And the platform used for this was Survey Legend, which is an online platform. The questionnaire was conducted in both English and Arabic, and later on translated and combined for the analysis. And 762 participants participated in the questionnaire. The first part of the questionnaire included demographic questions such as gender, age group, the relation to Old Manama, residency, frequency, and nature of the visits. And it was really interesting to see that some of the former residents of Old Manama had personal motivations for visiting the area. One participant said that strolling through the alleys to reminisce about our past experiences in Old Manama. Another said that they were visiting their childhood homes. And another said that attending funerals and paying respect at the graves of our family members was really important. So this shows that the extensive knowledge of the locality and unique bond that they have with Manama makes them valuable sources of insight to revive the area. Part 2 of the questionnaire focused on challenges of commercial activities, and we can see from the data that participants suggested there's a lack of infrastructure development, there's a decline in historical and cultural assets, lack of maintenance and safety, an increase in traffic and not enough parking spots, there's inadequate circulation and restroom facilities, and they prefer going to alternative air-conditioned shopping destinations. And some of the suggestions that they suggested in part 3 was infrastructure and enhancements, encouraging family visits, providing more outdoor play areas, more parking facilities, more shading and street furniture for rest areas, and finally promoting traditional workshops. Photographic analysis, which was the second part of the data collection, aimed to document the buildings and outdoor spaces through photography to identify architectural elements that influence trade. And this was done in both Old Manama Souk and Souk al-Baraha, which is the contemporary trading environment. So here we have some images from Old Manama Souk, which is the traditional trading environment. We can see the use of local materials, traditional elements, highly dense geometrical volumes, quite organic circulation, flexible spaces that adapt different uses of space, and then indoor-outdoor interaction spaces for the shops. The analysis of Souk al-Baraha, which is the contemporary trading environment, also shows us that there are different architectural elements that affect the physical act of trade. We can see that circulation is very important here. The organic routes, it's shaded, it offers rest areas. The inclusion of vegetation and local trees also really help. And then the interaction spaces between outside and inside, which help attract visitors and buyers. So the photographic analysis of both Old Manama and Souk al-Baraha emphasizes the importance of outdoor spaces, diverse typologies of spaces, organic circulation, and intimate interaction spaces, all in enhancing commercial activities. So based on the literature review, based on the data collection and the analysis, we've come up with certain recommendations in order to revive commercial streets in Bahrain. These include minor changes such as landscaping, traditional workshops, street lighting, shading, seating areas, and so on. And then structural changes, which involve long-term infrastructure changes such as restroom facilities, more parking spaces, the restoration of old buildings, having organic circulation routes. And finally, the public support, which is ongoing, and it requires supporting local businesses. It requires participating in cultural events and having the public promote Old Manama through word of mouth. So in conclusion, this research really highlights the significance of people's participation and the power of their participation which can be used as a catalyst for transformative change. It also highlights several architectural elements which influence trading activities, and future research can explore additional commercial streets in other traditional areas of Bahrain, such as Muharraq, for example, in order to revive trading activities across the country. Thank you very much.